All right, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, October 14th, and wow, is there just a lot going on in sports that we get to cover today. I don't even know where to start. You got James Franklin getting fired about damn time. You got the Brewers beating the Cubs in their first ever playoff series together. You got the Mariners going up 2-0 on the Blue Jays. You got the Titans firing their head coach, Brian Callahan. So we got a ton. You got Texas bouncing back and winning the Red River Showdown. Like, woo, we got a lot to go over today. Iman, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Austin? You already know, man. Another day, another dollar trying to make another depressed Monday where my Ravens just keep punching me in the gut.
Hey,
Dallas lost, so I didn't even have no type of comeback because I was thinking Dallas is playing at a high level with Dak, but I've never seen a defense like that in my life. I mean, goodness grief. So, but it's a good day. It was a good day of track practice today. So hey, who can complain?
Got that going.
We called. My bad, Austin. We called James Franklin a long time ago, and I'm glad the AD listens to our podcast. Clearly, he listens to us.
There's no other reason they would have done it. There's no other influence they could have had. I mean, we can crack right into it and just kind of start it. You know what we do every Tuesday to lead off the show. It is the top 10 in 10 minutes. I'm going to pull up the stopwatch right now, just in case today ends up being the day. But we just talked about James Franklin, so let's crack into the top 10 in 10 right there to kick it off, starting now. James Franklin finally fired at Penn State after they dropped another big game. They dropped the big game to Oregon, and then they followed that up with back-to-back losses against unranked teams, right? So he finishes his tenure 15-30 for his top 25 teams. We just experienced one of the largest in-season swings or collapses from great to dead in the water maybe ever, right? Not even a month ago, the Nittany Lions were still considered a championship contender. They were a top-ranked team. Now they're 3-3, including 0-3 in the Big Ten, firing their head coach, leaving them with a $50 million hole. James Franklin's going to be making $20K a day and $15 per minute thanks to being fired as a coach. I mean, that is the best job in sports. If you can get fired and make $20,000 a day. We're going to have to talk on their next up. Some names we talked about before. What do you got next, Iman?
Number 2, Texas finally bounced back after falling out of the top 25 to upset number 6, Oklahoma in the Red River Showdown, which is this big rivalry game, 23-6. John Mateer kind of came back too early from injury because clearly it didn't look like he was 100%, throwing 3 interceptions. And as much as I rag on Arch Manning all year, I must admit he's starting to play better. He's starting to see the offense a little bit better. And granted, Steve Sarkisian kept it simple for him, but he's starting to make some big-time throws and make on-time throws and playing better. So listen, don't be surprised if Texas does not creep back in the college football playoffs, because if they finish their schedule with everybody on there, they will be in the college football playoffs for the rest of the year. And the defense is making its money because they were lights out this weekend.
Yeah, that D can hang with anyone. All right, number 3. Pause, by the way. Number 3, Giants handled the Eagles with little issue, surprisingly. They won 34-17, didn't allow any points in the second half. And I'll tell you what, this is another thing we were talking about. This Eagles offense has been very mid. It's not getting better. They have completely lost their identity. They can't run the ball all of a sudden, and their passing game is pretty much already inept as is. Meanwhile, you got Dart on the other side. He had an efficient game, was the far better running quarterback in the game versus Jalen Hurts. He actually scored a touchdown, dropped in 2 tugs on the day. And this Giants team's just playing with some real mojo now ever since Dart's come in, despite losing Malik Neighbors, right? Cam Scatterbo is an absolute freaking monster, maybe the most entertaining running back in the game with his running style and just crazy madman energy. I'm telling you what, if Mike Allstott ever reincarnated as a true running back, it's Cam Scatterbo. What's next?
Number 4, goodness grief, Jets lay an all-time doodle egg this weekend in London, which in my eyes was the worst NFL game that I've ever seen in my life, where they lose to the Broncos 13-11. And not just the Jets was bad, the Broncos was bad. But clearly at this point, the Jets need to go to Tyrod Taylor, get somebody in there who's been playing in this league a long time, who's going to know how to run an efficient offense. Literally. When have you ever heard a game finish with negative 10 yards passing? I've never seen shit like that in the 21st century. I mean, maybe 50s, maybe 40s, but that had to be the worst game ever. And I've been telling y'all, schematically, Glenn does not know what he's doing. Did you see how he ended the first half? I mean, bad. But now, if you look around the league, most of the good teams are offensive guys that are head coaches. I've been saying it for a long time. Defensive guys don't make good head coaches. It's a few, but there's far and few in between where good DCs come and be great head coaches. It's an offensive league. So I don't see him making it to next year. I think he's going to be fired because I don't see them winning the game. So, yeah, Jets, that was the worst game I've ever seen in my life.
It was terrible. All right, next up, we got Drake Maye and the Patriots continue their hot streak right now. They're on a 3-game winning streak after now taking out the Saints. And let's just be very plain and simple. There's no MVP discussion right now without Drake Maye in it at this point. He has the best success rate in football on throws of 10-plus yards. He's the only quarterback with a passer rating of 100-plus in each of the last 5 weeks, completing over 73% of his passes, 10 tuds, only 2 interceptions. He's running the ball. He's throwing 250 a game. And that defense is playing really well, too. They're only giving up 20 points a game right now, 7th best in football. So don't look now. But the Patriots, they just might be back. We all know too well a Patriots team with an amazing quarterback and a great defense and kind of just whatever at running back or at a wide receiver. That's kind of happening all over again. Titans, you kind of mess it up with Mike Vrabel. I mean, he's you talking about defensive coaches. He's kind of finding something again, and maybe it's just like that Patriots thing, that whatever, that juju. But Patriots are looking good, man. What's next?
Speaking of MVPs, Baker Mayfield continues on his MVP caliber type seasons when the Bucs passed the 49ers this weekend. And get this, without Mike Evans, without Ime Ibuka, without Godwin, and without Bucky Irvin. Do you understand that Baker Mayfield played with me and you at receivers this weekend, Austin, and he still was able to pull off a win?
We were damn good.
Listen to these gaudy numbers. 12 TDs, 1 interception, 1,500 yards in 6 games. Let's be clear. If it was MVP given out right now, it will go to Baker Mayfield. The greatest thing that ever came from him is he lost them progressive commercials and got the hell up out of Cleveland, because that is a graveyard for any good player. Clearly, the beach in Florida, because it did it with Tom Brady, but clearly the beach in Florida was the greatest thing that ever happened to Baker Mayfield, because he is living up to the #1 pick and the Heisman Trophy candidate this year. Because like I said, I don't even know these guys at receiver. They can put me up there, and I'm pretty sure he'll turn me into a Pro Bowler this year.
Yeah, Browns had the guy. They dropped the ball. No surprise there. Next up, the Chiefs. They take out the Lions 32-17 on primetime. And speaking of, look who's back. The Chiefs offense appears to be back like they never left. Mahomes contributed 4 touchdowns in the big win, potential Super Bowl playoff or Super Bowl preview. And if you're a fantasy player, you know that Patrick Mahomes has been a top 3 quarterback for you in fantasy all season. The wide receiver room is still playing extremely well, and they still are missing their top threat. They've missed a few top threats all season. The defense is still looking really good, they're allowing the 6th fewest points a game right now. And like I said, I hope us all enjoyed that quick dynasty slump the Chiefs just had. They appear to be digging out of that rut at this point. That train looks full steam ahead. Rashee Rice is coming back now. Oh my goodness. I hate that they're back, but they seem like they're back. What's next, Iman?
Hey, get your brooms out. Las Vegas Aces make light work of the Phoenix Mercury. They swept them in the WNBA Finals this year, which makes the 3rd championship in 4 years. It's not moving into a dynasty. They are a dynasty, but there is no surprise. Becky Hammond is probably one of the best coaches in the WNBA, but she's come from under the tutelage of one of the greatest NBA coaches, of Greg Popovich. Remember, she was on his bench for years. So it's not a question. He got this team playing at a high level, which when they started the season 14-14. So people were kind of unexpected of them to come back this year and win. But guess what? Asia Wilson, who was the greatest player ever to play in the WNBA jersey, was the scoring title leader, defensive player of the year, MVP of the year, MVP of the finals, and champion. She's the only WNBA player, and get this, the never NBA player has ever had that stat line in 1 year. So she's the first professional girls and men's basketball player with that stat line. So salute to the Aces in their third win. Dynasty, Becky Hammond. You need to go to the NBA now and go turn over some of them terrible teams there.
Wow. All right. Next up, let's move to baseball really quick. From this weekend specifically, obviously the Mariners, they go up 2 on their series, but the Brewers finally did not give up a first inning home run for the first time all series against the Cubs. And would you know it, they end up winning the first series, playoff series against the Cubs of all time to close it out in Game 5. The team of destiny carries on. Euchre's Magic still very much alive and strong with the crew right now. Both teams started the game with the relievers. Mizorowski came in and pitched a really good game for the Brewers after McGill started it off for them. And Bryce Terang, there's a name. He showed up in the first game with a huge home run. He went dead silent the rest of the series until Game 5. He comes up with another huge home run to essentially seal it. Brewers, they're playing the first game against the Dodgers. It's a close one. It's a pitcher's duel through 6. I don't know where it's going to end. I'm going to have to listen back to this in misery or happiness. It's 0-0 through 6, so another pitcher's battle. Iman, what's next?
Last but not least, the biggest bodybuilding show of the year was this weekend, Mr. Olympia, and I want to send a congratulations to Derek Lunsford for his second Mr. Olympia title, second place Hottie Chupin, which he has to get over that hump at some point. The Wolf has looking great 2 years in a row, which the crowd and everybody think he should have won, but to me, third place. And his best finish of all his Olympias is Andrew Jack finishing in third place, who looked phenomenal. I'm talking about a 6-foot god walking in. I mean, his condition wasn't the best, but you talk about symmetry and size. To me, I thought Andrew Jack should have won, but he has a bunch of more years where he can come back and win. So shout out to Derek Lunsford again for your Olympia title and all that money, because you just made 6 figures, clearly. That's it.
Yeah.
Did we make it?
Hey, wrapping up. 10:45.
Oh, we good.
I mean, technically, you go 1 to 2,
10.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
I think that's good. That's right. We just got to be under 11, don't we?
Yes.
1 minute.
10 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
Oh, shit. Then you know what? We've kind of been killing it the last couple weeks. I'm not even going to lie. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
10 minutes.
Good stuff. Hey, good stuff. We got that rolling right. So a couple of things we can expand on today. We talked about the Jets. I mean, first, I guess before we really get into it, we have to acknowledge the Packers played Joe Flacco again, real quick. Joe Flacco almost beat the Packers again. That was a terrifying game to watch, knowing, I mean, look, I posted about this, people had thoughts and whatnot, but they had a great game plan. The Bengals came in with a great game plan against the Packers defense. They knew they're playing with a statue at quarterback, but they know Joe Flacco can kind of spread it around better than Jake Browning can. They did quick stuff all game long. I'm talking ball is snapped and out of his hands immediately. So Packers only got to Joe Flacco one time. Packers couldn't, I mean, their defense really played well all game, not giving up any points. They bent a little, did not break at any point. But, oh, son of a bitch. Fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Dodgers just hit a home run, man. I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have said anything about the game. Now I'm going to have to listen back to this. All right. Anyways. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the offense, man. I mean, they only have 10 points going into the fourth quarter against a really bad Bengals defense. That was a little surprising. Wasn't expecting to see that type of offensive output from the Packers on that defense. And then obviously it was really close. Shout out to the Packers. Their backup kicker named Haversick or something like that came in for injured McManus, hit 2 big field goals that the Packers end up needing. But, only 1 sack. So now the Packers got 2 sacks in the last 2 weeks. And something I called out is, look, I get it. The Bengals, a lot of quick stuff. Micah Parsons, it's getting bad out here. I don't know if you're watching this stuff, Iman. The blatant holds, I don't know what the hell, why these aren't getting called. It seems inexcusable that these aren't getting called. The amount of clips you see online and screenshots of, like, dude's arms literally wrapped around Micah Parsons' neck, and none of these things are getting called. So what do you got to do? But again, Packers, I get it. Bengals are doing a lot of quick stuff, but you're paying $300 million between Gary and Parsons. The thing about pressures, Iman, pressures can still turn into completions and yards and touchdowns and all of those things. These need to start turning into sacks. And Bengals might be a bad example because it was all quick. It was tough to get any time, and they game planned for exactly that. But the Cowboys was not. Dak was sitting back there. We didn't get a sack until OT. There was long developing plays, long developing routes, still just a bunch of pressures and no finishing, not a lot of sacks. And if Mike is not getting held blatantly as much as he has been, that's a different story. But I don't know. Did you watch that game?
Yeah, but this is the thing, and we talked about earlier that the Bengals line was terrible. We talked about it, that they didn't bring anybody in, so I was confused, but I am going to keep telling you this. Micah Parsons is only good for pressures. He's never and gets anybody good. He's not going to get any sacks. Not only he has his money already, so he's not motivated to do anything because he got his money. So he's never been a big game player, so I don't expect him to do anything. Now, Rashawn Gary is kind of a surprise for me because I just think bringing Micah Parsons over, that he would get a little bit more one-on-ones and
he started really hot.
Yeah, favorable.
He still got like 4.5 sacks.
Yeah, he got 4.5, but to have an all-pro on the other end, you would think his sack rate would go up. And listen, Joe Flacco is not just a statue. He moves because he got out of the pocket a couple of times, and I'm like, he is slow as shit. Excuse my French, because we had a couple comments under one of the videos. They don't like the cussing, so I'm gonna try to stop cussing for you. But I mean, Joe Flacco is molasses back there. And then you see your boy Jordan Love too. You see that one play where he was just rolling out, throw it out of bounds. He threw it in the double coverage. I don't
know what that was.
But listen,
that was
Austin. That's gonna cost you against a good team in the playoff because there's no need for it. You're rolling out. Throw it out of bounds. Why are you throwing it into double?
He was blanketed.
I mean, come on. So y'all squeaked away against a team that's actually not really good with a starting quarterback who just arrived this week. But win's a win.
Yeah, win's a win, man.
Man, I'm a little scared for y'all, man. I'm a little scared for y'all. And I mean, even though Detroit lost, but I thought Detroit looked well. So listen, y'all got to win, but hey.
The Packers have the talent to be an incredibly dominant football team. The good thing is, for the most, I mean, they got a tie, and obviously that Browns loss was just brutal. But like for the most part, you're winning football while you're kind of getting through some things. The offensive line, as dominant as that offensive line always is, they're not dominating right now. Looks like Jordan Morgan comes in at right guard. He looks like an improvement in the run game, especially. And credit to the Packers defense. Right now, they're the best run defense in football. Something I never thought I would say. They're allowing very few yards a game to running backs, and they've played some damn good running backs this year so far. And then Chase Brown's no slouch in the backfield for the Bengals either. So the run defense has been surprisingly good. The problem with that Packers defense right now is everything cornerback-wise, besides for Keyshawn Nixon, is not going great. Carrington Valentine did make a huge play on Jamar Chase at one point. Nate Hobbs is still a little iffy. So everything else besides Nixon is problematic to where if a quarterback gets a little bit of time and those pressures aren't resulting in sacks, they're hitting stuff. And that's been a problem. So definitely some things to work out. Obviously some special team stuff. Now that McManus is hurt as well. So I'm happy at least they're winning. Right, they're winning these games. Still important games to be winning, so you can get right, and you're not, having to play back from like a 2-4 record or a 2-5 record when things start to get right. You want things to be going right. You're doing it with hitting stride with a winning record is only going to be better. So there is that takeaway that this seems like the worst they can be, and at least they're winning football. My problem is they're not beating the doors off of bad teams. Still. That has always been the problem in the LaFleur era. They're still not beating the brakes off bad teams. I don't get how, for as much winning as LaFleur does, just this team never looks ready to play and compete and, strategize halfway through and make adjustments through the bad teams. I just don't understand. It's like a curse. Whatever this, like, what's the witch curse on eBay or not the eBay witch, the, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
You never heard of it? There's some witch thing that people are. There's Etsy, the Etsy witch. People are buying some like Etsy witch and using this black magic shit to pray against. It's a big thing in the Mariners series. Don't ask me. I would never do black magic. It's terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's my rant on the Packers. If you got, hey, our guy Butta, another Ravens fan like you, he's optimistic still. I don't know why. Maybe he's just gone crazy. But
We're fucking
thinking,
done. Yeah,
he's just thinking about the division.
We're fucking done. I can't stomach it anymore. I'm being honest. I can't stomach it anymore. Now, granted, if Lamar come back, could we run off 8 wins in a row? 4? Sure. But we're limping in the playoffs. I mean, and the good thing, like I say, even to go back to the Green Bay, the good thing about y'all, a lot of these NFC teams that's at the top are, I mean, getting riddled with injuries, and y'all are kind of a little bit more healthier than everybody. So late in the year, you getting these wins early, late in the year, more of y'all stars can kind of rest a little bit more. You may not need to win. Fred Warner's going down. I mean, Tampa's just and granted, Baker's playing good, but you can't play with backups forever. It's not sustainable in the NFL. But yeah, listen, I text Butter like, come on, bro. I know you gotta be optimistic because you are #1 fan, but I don't think I can watch another game this year. If Lamar doesn't come back, but even if he comes back, it's like, the spirit is low. I'm not lying. The spirit is low. John Harbaugh needs to go, though. I'm being honest. We cannot go into next year with him, and I love him for what he's been doing, but we need a new voice. We need a new voice.
Problem with Lamar, he don't play defense. That's a that's a problem. He can't fix that. He's gonna need to put up 40 to fix that. That's the only way he can be a part of the defense essentially. But all right, we do our normal Packers Ravens chat, but let's expand on a few things. First up, let's just wrap up this whole. But let's wrap up on the Jets season. I don't think we never talk about them again after this. But a couple things to just wrap. They're sprinting. The Jets are sprinting towards the first overall pick. Unfortunately for them, I don't really think there's a quarterback worth a damn taking at pick 1 overall. So we could live in a world where they trade back, honestly, from pick 1 because it seems like they're going to get it. Stack up draft picks. They already have a talented roster, but first things first. Does Aaron Glenn make it to November, or should Aaron Glenn make it to November?
He will make it to November. I just don't think he'll make it to next year. I think they've already just decided, hey, we thought about this. You really forced Justin Field in, and you forced Aaron Rodgers out, which was the dumbest decision ever. But it just doesn't look good either, Austin. I mean, I could see if it looked good. The defense is playing a little bit better, but the Broncos aren't this world beater offense, so it's kind of hard to tell. But once again, a head coach has to be organized, has to understand situational football, which is 2-minute drills, the end of halves, the end of fourth quarters, overtimes, fourth down plays, and just having the eye to say, hey, this quarterback isn't it. And we have a vet who can win games and literally played early in the year and played 10 times better than Justin Field is playing. I mean, and granted, I hate it for him, but potential get coaches fired. My mentor used to tell me that. So the team has potential to be better, but man, it's getting worse for Aaron Glenn. So yes, he'll make it. He'll make it to the end of the season, but I think he's fired the first day of the offseason. First day of the offseason.
I think there's an argument that he should be fired, but at least before the end of November. If they leave November with 1 win, let's say they get there first. Oof. I just don't know. I mean, the other thing is do you bench Justin Fields? A lot of clamor. He should have been benched this last game. I don't know why the hell you keep him in, how things are going. You got Tyrod Taylor, a savvy vet on your bench. At least let him try to come in and win the game. The fact that was not a decision that happened is just coaching malpractice. Justin Fields is not some all-pro first ballot guy where it's like, all right, he's having a bad game, but we got to keep him in there because he could just strike at any moment. He's quite the opposite of that. You got Tyrod on your bench. You got to bring him in a close game and try to remain competitive. That offense was not competitive all game with Justin Fields. Like you said earlier, -10 net passing yards that game. That's so bad. I believe that's unacceptably bad.
Oh
You,
my
you
God.
just can't keep rolling with that. I mean, I don't know what you do at this point because, like we said, they've got talent on defense. The defense is not coming around. They got talent on offense. Maybe they're a quarterback away because, Breece Hall, it sounds like now he's in the trade rumors. Garrett Wilson was kind of a trade-ish. Maybe it was a fake made-up trade rumor like last year, but almost to the point is like, if you're the Jets, this ain't working. There ain't really a quarterback in this draft that is like, seems like the guy who's going to turn this ship around. Do you blow it up this offseason?
Yes.
And
Yes.
start fresh in 2 years?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, you have, because I'm gonna tell you one thing about a losing locker room. Listen, it's a cancer. So I'm gonna tell you now, the Jets have the guys that's in that Jets locker room have been losing for the past 3 years. You have to get that out first and foremost. I'm telling you, because losing is a cancer. It's an energy. It is a bad juju. So you have to get everybody who's used to losing out of that locker room for one. And I'm gonna tell you that Indiana quarterback didn't look bad. People starting to.
He's nice.
Yeah, and I don't think
Mendoza?
he's the organizational changer. But if you had to kind of say we just got to draft somebody, he didn't look bad. But I'm with you. No, I don't see a quarterback that's going to be next. But I mean, you got to get everybody out of that locker room and just start over and bring in a young coach, young offensive guy who you're going to be patient with. Joe Brady, maybe he's the OC in Buffalo. I mean, it's a few more out there, but listen, you got to get them losers up out of that, like, because they're done now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Was winner in high school. I got to college and started losing for the first time, and I realized after a while, people really don't want to win anymore, and they don't care at practice, and it is just bad. So that locker room's done. So yeah, you got to get everybody the hell up out of there.
This thing was destined to fail the moment Aaron Glenn looked Aaron Rodgers in the eyeballs and said, "Sorry, you're not good enough, and our solution is Justin Fields." This thing was doomed at that moment. And then you see Rodgers kind of doing his thing, and he's back to making a lot of vintage Rodgers plays. And I hope Aaron Glenn sees every single one of them and be like, nope, we would prefer Justin Fields, which, let's be clear, by principle, Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers in any scenario when it comes to winning football games is the wrong choice. So I don't know what they do, because again, if there was maybe a quarterback this draft, I don't know what kind of like bridge guy they might want to go try and find. If they do want to remain if you want to remain competitive with this team, you need to go find a quarterback that is a bridge guy that's going to keep you like good. They need to make a big investment. I'm not talking like, knowing the Jets, it would kind of probably end up like the Deshaun Watson investment in Cleveland, knowing how the Jets go. But like, again, with no quarterback really looking like the guy, sure thing, the guy in the coming draft, you got to go find a bridge quarterback who can get you through next year, who can start in 2 years from now and then you draft that guy, you kind of let him sit behind for a year then. So you need like a guy, a next 2 to 3 years guy, and you got to probably have to go out and pay for him. And that's if you're going to keep Breece Hall. That's if you're going to keep Garrett Wilson and whatnot. You have a good tight end in Mason, and you have players on defense. So Aaron Glenn's clearly not the right coach. And I'm with you on the defensive coach thing. I am all about hiring offensive coaches. I think if you're going to hire a defensive coach, you are taking a massive risk, because now you better have Ben Johnson as your OC or someone really freaking talented as an OC, because we see enough in this current NFL defensive coaches not winning Super Bowls if nothing else. It's the offensive guy more times than not. So that was probably the wrong choice. They've gone back-to-back defensive guys as well. So I don't know. I would love to see the Jets blow it up to see what they do, but also again, with the talent they have, I'm kind of open to the idea that they just go out and pay big money for a bridge guy and see if they can.
Mac Jones. What about a Mac Jones that's been playing pretty decent in San Fran?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just a guy who's like, Mac Jones is not, I don't know how competitive he makes you. He makes you more competitive than this. He's a better quarterback in terms of throwing a football than Justin Fields is. So I would see that as an upgrade. Yeah, I would see it as an upgrade. Still young. He's going to be very cheap for you. Why not? I mean, I'd be curious to see who's on the market this year coming up. But, I don't know if there's a guy. I mean, there might be a guy that Jets be like, all right, we're just going to swing huge. We're going to make the biggest quarterback play ever. But, I mean, they're kind of at rock bottom. They could do anything at this point. So,
Get me. They
Hell,
come get me.
we're part near as competitive as Justin Fields. Why don't we talk to the fans about how the Jets are feeling? Let's look at some angry Jets fan tweets. We'll just kind of go back and forth reading these off. Some of these are just golden. I feel for the Jets fans, man. But the first one here for angry Jets fan tweets. I adopted and educated a chimpanzee and then made him watch Justin Fields play football, and he injected 40 gallons of fentanyl and horse piss into his veins.
Goodness.
What do you got next?
Aaron Glenn really looked at Aaron Rodgers in the face and thought he was better than Justin Fields. But this is Floyd Mayweather sweating, trying to read Cat in the Hat. And it says, Justin Fields trying to read an NFL defense, which we all know Floyd Mayweather is known not to be able to read. And The Cat in the Hat is the first book I read when I was 3 years old.
All right, next up, we got the caption is watching the Jets every Sunday for the last 15 years is like, and then it's a picture of Mark Sanchez's mugshot. That's just brutal. Too soon, perhaps? No,
Yeah,
perfect time.
A little bit.
Perfect timing. Oh, Mark. What's next? What's next one?
Thank you, Jets, for another magical Sunday, which is Karate Man kicking another Karate Man in the nuts, and the nuts are the Jets fans. Just goodness grief.
Yeah, I can see how that's relevant. All right, next one up. I've watched Fitzpatrick throw 6 picks. I've watched Zach Wilson get benched for Chris Streveler. I've watched Tim Boyle. That's right. That right there was one of the single worst quarterbacking performances I've ever seen in a Jets uniform, referring to Justin Fields in London against the Broncos. Yeah, just like the Browns, just miserable quarterbacking recently. What's the next one?
All 31 other fan bases should watch the Jets every Sunday just to remind themselves it could always be worse. Just this loss on Aaron Glenn, refusing to bench Justin Field to go to Tyrod. I don't know if is that the tweet too?
No, the next one is this loss is on Aaron Glenn. And we touched on this. Refusing to bench Justin Fields to go to Tyrod Taylor at any point, sabotage a defense/special teams masterclass. Embarrassing. So yeah, fans feeling how we're feeling about that decision. What's the next one?
Next gen stat. Justin Fields is the first quarterback of the modern era to suck this bad every time he plays. Pause. And that's crazy.
All right, and last one. The Jets are going 0-17. It's a very reasonable prediction. This is the worst team in my adult lifetime. When it's all said and done, maybe the worst Jets team of all time, period. So they've hit rock bottom. This franchise has hit rock bottom. The fans are right there with them. You just got to feel for, man. I don't know. Sometimes, as ugly as some of these Packers wins get, man, like one of that one says, sometimes I just need to watch some Jets football and remind me how good I have things as a Packers fan, because this sounds miserable. Miserable. Poor Jets fans.
Poor Jets.
Poor
Jets
Jets
go to the
fans.
Giants.
All right.
Yeah, just switch over to the Giants. They're playing pretty good.
It's not a far trip. Not a far trip. All right. Yep. Let's go into our next kind of thing to expand on. We talked about 2 guys having MVP type of seasons that I don't think many people thought were going to have MVP type of seasons. Both their names start with Maye. So how about this? We're going to talk to which Maye has a better argument for MVP right now, Baker Mayfield or Drake Maye, right? So if you kind of just, start your search, who's got the better chance, better argument right now, we can kind of go back and forth. So the person with the advantage, I'll say their name. So touchdowns, Mayfield. Yards, passing yards, Mayfield, but they're essentially tied. Like it's like 20 yards away. Interceptions, Mayfield. Touchdowns on throws of 20 plus yards, Mayfield. Over to Drake Maye. He's leading in QB, EPA, expected points added, another very critical stat for quarterbacks. His QBR, he's leading. Passer rating, he's leading. EPA on throws of 10 plus, he's leading. EPA on throws of 20 plus, he's leading. So essentially what you're hearing right there is he's been unfreaking believably efficient and having a very high success rate when he's throwing the football. That is what you're seeing out of that EPA stat, and he is contributing in a big way when there's positive plays for the Patriots. So, Iman, we'll let you start. I mean, you're going to give us the Mayfield argument. What are you going to hit us with on like the argument for Mayfield as the better Maye here?
And first of all, too, I am a Maye baby. I was born May 6th, so I love this segment. I'm just a Maye baby. So I'm for Drake Maye and Baker Mayfield. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, to me, I just think they're more quality wins. And yes, Drake Maye doesn't have world beaters at receivers either, which everybody was saying coming into the year they needed to add. But adding Stephon Diggs kind of gives him an all-pro, a Pro Bowler, so he has a little bit more help. But like I said before, Baker Mayfield is throwing to guys nobody even expected to be in the NFL this year. Without Mike Evans, who's an 11-year guy, 1,000 yards per season, Emeka Egbuka is looking like the best rookie, not just rookie receiver. He's looking like the best rookie this year, who's also a Pro Bowler. Bucky Irvin's gone, so the running game's gone. And they're beating more quality defenses to me. I just think that the NFC teams that he's beating, and he's making it look good. And I like Drake May, but Drake May doesn't have the Baker Mayfield swag to me. This is just to me. Short guy, walked on at Texas Tech, had to quit, go over to Oklahoma, walked on over there and became a Heisman Trophy. So he's just exuberating so much swag. But what he's doing with nobody, I mean, is just exceptional. And let's be clear. Is his coach as good as Vrabel is? He lost his offensive coordinator that's down in Jacksonville now. So his coordinator from last year that he had a career season with, he's on another offensive coordinator this year that he had to learn a whole nother offense with. So that's which Drake May has a new offensive coordinator this year too, but I think to me he has a better head coach. So
I feel, I mean, I am. It's hard. This is a tough one because I think these guys are like neck and neck. I feel like if I had to do the blind resume test, I'd end up picking Baker Mayfield's numbers. I feel like most people would end up picking Baker. If you just do the blind resume test, so they're like, across the board, the standard quarterback stats, I think most people would end up picking Baker Mayfield's numbers. And yeah, you add in the injuries. They haven't had Jalen McMillan all season. That's their fourth receiver. So, and they haven't had Tristan Wirfs. Their all-pro, all-world right tackle's been gone. So he doesn't even have that going for him. But, and like you said, the way he plays, man, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback just visibly give so much damn effort on every play. Like that 3rd and 14 run where he broke like 2 guys sacking him, then he broke another 3 tackles, and then he stretched all the way just to reach over and barely get the first down, and they were up 2019 in the third quarter. That was a huge monumental play. I just love how gritty Baker Mayfield is, man. It's hard not to like him. And then I think the biggest thing with him is the stat that popped out for Baker on me is like he's got 8 touchdown passes on throws of 20 plus yards of air this season, which is twice as more as any other quarterback right now. So yeah, man, it's hard not to give it to Baker at this point with what he's doing. They're playing good games. Joey, is there something you need to add to it?
I just think it's fascinating we're talking about both these guys because this is the perfect example of nature versus nurture, right? And even with the Justin Fields conversation you guys just had, Baker Mayfield jumped around those first couple of years with the Browns and Carolina, and the fact that he found a system, and the Rams, and the fact that he found a system here, built by Bruce Arians years before, that's now organizationally trickled down. I know there's been some coaching changes to where he's that successful. And the same with Drake May, where you come into a situation where you now have Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels comes back. I mean, these are MVP builder coaches. And it shows you what that means to the direction of a quarterback versus like what Justin Fields is in right now. And even watching with the Bears, right? He was in a horrible situation here in Chicago and in the Jets. And yes, if I were him, I'd take the $40 million and run to New York. But would he have been better off being a backup somewhere in a good system and learning and then getting an opportunity maybe next year? That's an argument to be had. And that's where if you sit here and you go, wow, your MVP talk right now is not Mahomes. It's not Allen. It's 2 guys in these systems that work really well and take advantage of their skills. It's so refreshing to have some new faces. And it's just wild to see that these guys are not those crazy God-given talent kind of players, but are ones that are here making an impact and can vie for MVP now that they have the proper support around them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Browns had the guy with Baker. They had him. They won a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken, right, with Baker Mayfield?
Yep.
He set like the touchdown record or something, passing touchdown for a rookie. Like They had the guy. They just never. It was an organizational failure with Baker. And I mean, to get into the Drake May argument, right? I think this is again obviously Josh Allen. He's still, I think, number one for. I think he's the number one. Him and Mahomes are actually 1 and 2, the favorites for MVP right now. But Mayfield is number 3, and Drake May is also right up in there. I think it could just swap at any given moment with how these guys are all playing. But with Drake May, he ranks 5th in EPA per dropback among all quarterbacks in their second season since 2000. He's having historic sophomore season right now. Talk about sophomore slumps with CJ Stroud and a bunch of other dudes. Drake May's on the inverse side of that coin, balling out as a sophomore right now. He ranks first among all NFL quarterbacks with a 2.19 EPA per dropback on throws of 20 air yards or more. So he's not just throwing dink and dunk, right? He's excelling and been incredibly efficient with a high success rate on the long ball throws. Like you said, kind of with Diggs. Diggs is still really nice, and they put him in the slot, and he's playing really good football. Back-to-back 100 yards game, but let's be clear. We're talking about a 31-year-old Stephon Diggs at this point, but it's kind of the Patriots thing. Whatever it is with the Patriots, ever since Tom Brady came in there, right? They never won a Super Bowl with Randy Moss. They won Super Bowls with a bunch of just pretty average guys at receiver, and it's happening again. I mean, I like Kyle Williams, but he's a depth guy. Keyshawn Boutte is a nice guy. He's all right. Demario Douglas, he's all right. But like, no one you're writing home about. No one you're like, I'm giving him big money to, besides like some Diggs, right? And New England, the thing about New England is they have one of the worst run offenses in football right now. At least one of the worst run games. Their 91 yards per game on the ground is 7th worst in football. So their offensive success has been almost entirely on Drake May to produce for the offense. If you've watched the games, you've seen him make some absolutely ridiculous throws that just make you say, wow. Like, remember when Patrick Mahomes was getting started and just how many times you caught yourself saying, wow, what a throw. You're doing that right now with Drake May. We saw a bunch of it in over just the last couple of weeks. He's been extremely accurate, which has a huge growth for him. He came into the league not known for accuracy. He's number 2 in football right now behind Jared Goff in completion percentage. He's extremely efficient, and you can just see the arm talent and the ability to make plays, right? And if he's done it against good defenses too. So if you look at his games against the Steelers and the Bills, 541 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception, but a 75% completion percentage. Highly efficient stuff all season for Drake May. And I don't know. I honestly, if someone be like, gun to my head, you have to pick one of these guys right now, I'm probably going Baker.
I mean, and the thing is too with Drake May, he was kind of getting rolled off after his first year. People were kind of saying maybe that was a reach pick, and I don't care who you are. Nobody expected New England to be where they're at now this year. I mean, we knew Mike Vrabel would turn it around after a while, but nobody thought that they'll be where they're at now, winning games and looking good doing it. But I'm with you, Baker Mayfield, and I'm gonna tell you now. The NFL, and I get it, and Vegas does it because of the popularity. But let's be clear: if you've been looking at the games, Patrick Mahomes is blessed with Andy Reid. Josh Allen is blessed with just an organization that bring in the right guys. Come on, y'all can't have them 1-2 right now, and you got to be looking at Baker and Drake May playing. The NFL needs some new faces, new blood, new energy. If Baker wins, though, I'm telling you, because they're going to lose their mind because that guy is a lunatic, but I love it because, like I said, he was a guy that they wrote off short coming into college. Nobody knew who he was, what he was. So I'm always rooting for the underdog, and I'm going to keep rooting for him because, like I said, he was wrote off in college at Texas Tech. He was wrote off at Oklahoma. He was wrote off after the number 1 draft, and now he's just flourishing, and I love it for him. But hey, had to get out of Cleveland and leave Progressive alone, too. Progressive has been a fucking
– That was a fun era. That was a fun era, though.
I mean, he was on every fucking commercial, too, but you look at Derrick Henry's playing like shit this year. Like, a lot of them Progressive guys, man.
I think he was Allstate, isn't he? Isn't he Allstate?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he with Jake? Stay away from insurance commercials, people. Yeah, that's what we're trying to say.
Stay away from them shit.
Big insurance is working its way into football. We don't need that. Get it out.
It's clear. It's killing y'all's careers. Yeah. So
hell yeah, it is. But I don't know. I gotta give. I mean, people were bashing us when we put out the feelers for Drake May as a dark horse MVP. At least I did. There was the episode you were gone. I said dark horse MVP right now for May is Drake May, and he's only accelerated that point in the last couple of weeks, and I think he's only going to continue to do that. So right now, and I think the edge is because, again, if I just a blind resume test, I'd probably end up picking Baker. That's why I'm giving him the small edge. But I can see a world where Drake Maye, at this pace, if he keeps this up, I see it impossible that even if Baker keeps it up, I think it's impossible he doesn't finish in the top 3. But once Baker gets those guys back, that offense is going to be stupid. That Buccaneers offense you can already see at full health. That's an offense you do not want to see in the playoffs. Hell no, brother. All right, let's go into the last topic for today. Just kind of talking on the Chiefs a little bit, but another thing we should, a conversation I don't think anyone expected us to be having this year is about how good the Colts are, right? No one thought the Patriots was going to be good. They're balling on both sides of the ball. How about them Colts are balling out?
Indiana Jones.
Sir. A lot of Giants fans like, where was that? Look at your head
organizations, man. Organizations matter. I'm telling you,
it's working, and I mean, a big factor is the offensive line with the Colts. When you got the best line in football, you can do things with it, believe it or not. But who finishes with more wins this season, Iman? The Kansas City Chiefs or the Indianapolis Colts? And right now, the Chiefs are 3-3, I believe. Are the Chiefs 3-3? They're third in the AFC. And the Colts are still, 5-1?
Uh-huh.
Yes, 4-1, 5-1. Are the Colts 5-1 or 4-1? What is? I feel like I should be getting this right now. So the Colts are 5-1, and the Chiefs are 3-3. Yep, I was right. So who's going to finish the season with more wins?
I'm going to keep banging this down. I'm going to keep sounding like a broken record because they've just been proven you cannot bet against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They are starting to catch their stride. The offense starting to look a little better. And I want to say, look at the schedule. They got Vegas twice on the rest of the season. They got Tennessee. They got Denver, which I don't think is a good team. I'm telling you, I just don't see Denver. They have a good defense, but that offense is terrible. They got Denver twice. They got Las Vegas twice. They have Houston, Washington. They got Los Angeles, who's dealing with a lot of injuries. They got Dallas. Come on. They're going to put 50 on Dallas. And then they have Indianapolis. So I just think their schedule is favorable. So I see them winning more games towards the end of the year because you got to think Indianapolis got Houston, Jacksonville, Seattle, San Francisco. Green Bay, Baltimore, which that's preseason. So they got Jacksonville, Seattle. Yeah. So I just think
they got winnable games coming up at least.
Who?
I don't know. I mean, the Colts next 4 games are the Chargers, Titans, Steelers, Falcons. Those are actually, you know what? Those are
1-3.
The Steelers and Falcons are good defenses. Those are going to be good tests. But again, I mean,
they're coming out of that 4-game stretch of 1-3.
I could see them coming out 8. I can see them coming out 8-2. I can also see the games that you listed, the Chiefs. I feel confident for, but most definitely they should win 5. So the Chiefs should end up with at least 8 wins this season, at least. And the Colts should also finish with at least 8 wins this season at this pace. They should be able to do enough against the Falcons. They should definitely put the beating on the Titans. They should put some work on the Titans. That's an easy win. The Chargers are exploitable. The Steelers aren't an offense that are putting up a bunch of points. And like I said, if you can just keep Daniel Jones up, if you can just keep run blocking, we're talking about a top 3 offense and the best offensive line in football so far. I'm not about to just say nah, that's not going to be able to take care of a defense. A great O-line takes care of great fronts against a defense. And I think the Chiefs' next 4 games is a little bit more losable. I could see them easily dropping 2 not to the Raiders, but then they got the Commanders, the Bills, and the Broncos. They could very easily lose that Bills game. The Commanders got Jaden Daniels back. They could very easily just pop off and win a big game. And the Broncos, the offense is not amazing, but that defense is really damn good to where if you can just keep Mahomes off the scoreboard, you got a chance of winning that game. The offense is good enough with Sean Payton this year that they keep Mahomes off the scoreboard, and that defense definitely could. They can win that game in like a 20-17-ish type of shootout type thing. That's a win. That's not a game I'm just going to give the Chiefs. So I can see them dropping 2 games in their next 4, whereas I could see the Colts leaving their next 4 8-2 and have a big leg up on the Chiefs. But you're right. The Colts remaining schedule is a little bit more ugly. That game, when they play each other, is going to be the deciding factor. They play each other in November, I think middle of November, Chiefs, Colts. Is that an AFC Championship preview game? Is that a
and
perhaps?
you gotta think about it. Indianapolis is coming to Kansas City in late November where it's cold.
Is it late November? Okay.
Yeah, we're talking a dome team who's used to playing inside. It's nice and comfy on inside. You got to think they're going to Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks where it's going to start getting cold. So they got some games where they got to come outside and see how tough they are. And once again, I'm just being honest. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Shane Steichens, Indiana Jones.
You make a good point, sir.
And listen, the Chiefs are getting healthier. That offense is starting to click and get a little more swagger with them. And they're getting to the point where Travis Kelce is doing minimum now, and they're still getting the offense out of everybody. Hollywood Brown is playing at a higher level that he's played in years. Xavier Worthy still trying to get his legs back. The running game was pretty good yesterday. And like I said, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just still him. And I think when everybody forgets that he's the best quarterback in the league now, he has to remind them all the time. So, listen.
Yeah, don't look now, but another don't look now moment. The Chiefs are averaging the most yards per game over the last 3 games. The only team averaging over 400 yards the last 3 games, and they're still doing it without Rashee Rice, right? I mean, they just beat a Super Bowl contender Lions team without Rashee Rice. They narrowly lost to the Eagles without Worthy or Rice. And like you said, they're just getting their offense is clicking. It's working without Worthy a little bit, without Worthy or Rice, and now still without Rice, it's still working. And they don't have their best weapon yet. And so, yeah, and the coach quarterback combo, it's the best in football. You can't debate that. I'd be curious to see what Colts fans would have to say about their argument for the Colts. I'd be really curious to see why the Colts should finish with a better record than the Chiefs this year. Because I think it's very possible. I think the Colts. Here's what I'll say. I'll say that I'll give the edge of the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs finish with a better record by 1 game because I think the Chiefs will win the game against the Colts, and that might be your deciding factor in who has the better record this season. That could be a fun playoff game. That could be a really fun playoff game.
For sure.
All right. Yeah, man. I mean, we can wrap it up there for the show today. Of course, make sure to check out Juega House. Get your 15% off on a nice hat. You can see what kind of weapon one right now. If you're watching the show, the nice hats, man. Use code Sideliner Sports, SIDELINR space sports for your 15% off over at Juega House. Get yourself a hat. Come on now, don't be silly. We will see you fine folks on Friday. Until then, enjoy the week. We'll see you.